Gene Simmons, folks. Do you know him? Very, very shrewd man. Very, very clever man. The bass player in Kiss, Kiss! The rock band used to have their faces painted, then they didn't, then they did again. Recently split up. Honestly, one of the cleverest men in rock. I mean, Kiss have earned more money from memorabilia than probably any band in the history of music. They've done fantastically. And Gene Simmons was the man that drove it all. He's fantastic at making money out of a band that, frankly, for all they were entertaining to watch and did some great songs, probably weren't the most talented band in the world by a long way, really. But they maximised what they had. He did very, very well from it. Anyway, read something yesterday. He was saying, he said, me and my son met Jimmy Page a few years ago. He said one of the greatest things to me that anybody's ever said. He said, I'll tell you what, Gene, you can give John Entwistle a run for his money. For those that don't know who that is, that's the Ox. That's the old bass player with The Who. And I looked at it, and it's another thing I had to read again. I thought, have I read that right? I was right, that's what he said. Now, he did say, Gene, in his defence, he said, I think he was just being kind to me, Jimmy. He was trying to be nice to me. He said, I've always looked up to Jimmy Page, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. But he said, I thought, oh my God, Gene Simmons is comparing me to John Entwistle. He said, I know it's not a real comparison. Now, he did say that, but I thought, why even mention it then, Gene? Because just to give you an idea, folks, of the way things are, the pantheon of things, as bass players go, the Ox, Entwistle, is probably the greatest bass player of all time. I don't think I've ever seen better. He's just unbelievable. You're watching a band that consists of Townsend, who's a brilliant guitarist, brilliant lyricist, brilliant vocalist, does all the high stuff with the Who there, great backing vocals, brilliant at what he does, throwing the windmills all the time. You've got Roger Daltrey, who's a stellar frontman, twisting his mic here, there and everywhere, throwing it, catching it, the lot. Now you've not got old Moon the Loon, he died too young. Had he have been here, then this next sentence will seem quite right. But I've seen The Who 3 or 4 times now, and I was one of the great tragedies of my life, or the great things that I regret, is that I never seen them with Moon live. I wish I had, I didn't do. I've seen him with a couple of drummers, not with Moon. But since Moon died, when I watch The Who, as I say, you've got Townsend doing all that and brilliant at it, Daltrey doing all that and brilliant at it, and Entwistle as a bass player. He's the only bass player that I can think of that when I've watched him, I'm transfixed by him. I watch him more than I watch Townsend or Daltrey. And Townsend or Daltrey, really, to most people's mind, are The Who. They are now, because obviously Entwistle and Moon have died. But they were in most people's eyes anyway. They were the two frontmen, if you like. But Entwistle was that good. I spent most of my time watching him. Just a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant bass player. It's like comparing me with Gene Simmons. I don't play bass, but I'm probably, doing the same analogy, I'm as good as Gene Simmons on bass, and I don't play it. That's how far off Gene Simmons is from John Entwistle. And then Simmons said something like, something about, it was on about Paul McCartney or something. He said, because to me, Entwistle is a fantastic bass player, one of the all-time greats, not far behind Paul McCartney. He said, with McCartney, he's brilliant. When he plays that bass, you know what the song is. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, Gene. You're digging a bigger hole here. I'm not having that neither. I know McCartney is royalty. I know people will have nothing said against him. I do get that. But even McCartney can't lace John Entwistle's boots on a bass guitar. Nobody can. Entwistle is the governor. The governor. Simple as that. So, no more tripe from Jimmy Page about you and Entwistle, and none from you about Entwistle and McCartney, because I'm not having it. And I know that'll put me out with a lot of Beatles fans and music fans, but Entwistle would wipe the floor with any bass player I've ever seen. So, you've heard it here first, folks. You've heard it here first. Gene, keep selling your memorabilia. Keep thinking about your avatars thing like ABBA. I believe you're looking at doing that next to earn some more money. Don't talk tripe. You normally talk some sense. Don't even think of comparing yourself with John Entwistle. No can do.